Okay guys, so this video is about abduction which happened to me in Dominican Republic 6 days ago, and I was abducted by 6 people. Initially the team composed of 4 people only, and later on they were 6, and I was able to escape from this abduction because I have experience from Philippines where I lived in Mindanao, and I was trained rapid assault techniques, RAT so called, which is the collection of the tactics for special services or for Delta Force. I don't say I'm one of these guys, but if I didn't know the tricks and if I didn't live in 7 years in third world countries, I was living 2 years in Sri Lanka, 1 year in Cyprus, 4 years in Philippines. Besides, I was living 1 year in Canada, 6 months in US, 1 year in Spain, and 3 years in Austria, and I studied in Denmark, and I'm from Czech Republic, so I got a really experience. I visited more than 50 countries, and I know what to expect. But I have to say, with all this experience, I underestimated Dominican Republic, and I would like to warn my fellow travelers and tourists to travel to Dominican Republic because of the incredible outburst of kidnapping and abduction of tourists and foreigners, which you will not find this information on local press because it's all swept under the carpet, and the police, as I tell you later on, do nothing about this. So this is an invisible problem, and just bear with me and I will tell you the whole story. So look, I was here for 2 weeks in Santo Domingo, in capital of Dominican Republic, in Zona Colonial, in this touristic part of the town, and I had a plan later on go to Punta Cana, which never happened, and possibly to Puerto Plata or see some beaches, some beautiful nature. I heard about Dominican Republic, but because I like to travel to the places which are non-touristic and I'm a real traveler, I wanted to have a vibe of the capital of the Santo Domingo. When I arrived first time, I observed how the atmosphere compared to Miami is not so tense and relaxed, and people, it's a typical Caribbean nation. I was sad too, because this is my first Caribbean nation. I was in Asia, and I'm gonna visit all Caribbean countries later on, and South American. So this is my entry, but I think it's similar in other countries, as I will learn. So I saw very relaxed atmosphere, third world kind of a vibe, people a little bit slow, doing parties, smiling, not so much good services, etc., etc. But everything looks very idyllic, except of one thing. I observed that on the houses there are bars, metal bars, and a lot of locks. And in my Airbnb there was one door, bar, and another door. And the owner of the Airbnb told me, please lock it all, it's for your security. But I had a security agency, and I was walking down the town in the night, and I didn't observe any danger, and I really underestimated it. You see, I got a lot of experience, but I was lullabied by this idyllic atmosphere in February here, or in January when I arrived, and everything looked so good. And Zona Colonial El Conde, the street, is there are a lot of cameras, so everything is safe. You can find there some pickpocketers or whatever. But later, after 2 weeks, I moved to part of the town where I am now. It's called Gascue. Gascue, Bella Vista, and Piantini are so-called better off parts of the city for so-called rich people. But if you go on the internet, you search out in Wikipedia that rich people here earning $50,000 to $60,000 per year, so they are not really rich. And the parts of the town doesn't look like rich parts in Miami or West Palm Beach where I stay. So it looks like a normal streets, the rich ones, but there is a lot of dust, and you can see that's a third world country. But what happened? Of course, I'm not like some kind of a tourist who is searching for monuments. Sometimes I go to see them, but I'm not a beginner. And I'm a single man. I'm not a saint. I won't deny it. So I went on Tinder and I killed the time. It was not a specific reason why I arrived here, but I killed the time by trying to interact with some girls here as well, with some women but I didn't look for some prostitution, nothing. I'm single. I was looking for eventually even for serious relationship or to have some fun. I think there is nothing wrong about this, but I'm not some kind of a sexual tourist. You see, I'm a young guy. I'm good looking. I don't need to do these things. I'm not some pervert, and I never was. But I dated a couple of girls here, and everything looked good. Women looks very nice here, everything. But then, around 11 o'clock, when I stay in my third apartment Airbnb in Gascue on Kaunabo Street, near the Café Granier, the French bakery, I come across the girl. She was like 22 years old, and there was written, her name was Jessica on the Tinder profile, and she looks quite okay. I gave her my WhatsApp number, we call each other shortly, and she said she will come over and we go for some cocktail, for some drink, and we will see what's going on in Venezuela Street. There are a lot of cocktail bars, and she asked me to give her, so I give her my location, which I did, and I asked her if I should send a taxi for her Uber, which I always use the Uber because it's a safe thing, and I was always checking the plate numbers on my application on my phone and the plate numbers on the real car, because I heard about the danger here, abductions and stuff like that. But this time I was not so precise, and she says she's coming in her own taxi, and the application shows she's 2 kilometers from here, and she looked like the citizen of Gascue, and she says she's home with her brother-in-law and with her sister and her husband, and she's coming to pick me up, and we will go for cocktail eventually back to their house where is some party. And I did really bad mistake when she arrived in this typical look-alike Honda Fit 2015 little car Uber. I get in, and I went with her where we were going. It was some Venezuela street with the cocktail bars, and we were driving through safe parts of the town. We went to Malecon and to around the casinos in Washington Avenue, and we finished near the Luigi restaurant, I think, with the fish, with the specialty of fish. I was there twice, I think is the name of it. And then I observed something is wrong, and instead, then the driver suddenly changed direction and went into some barrio, but it was very fast. It was like 1 minute or 500 meters, and he was going in the hill, and I knew something is wrong. So I started to be vigilant, and I said, "Hey, what's going on? We don't go to the bar." She said, "No, we go to our house. You're really nice, and let's be in privacy." I was like, but the girls here are very inviting, and so it was nothing wrong. But I already have this bad feeling. So I was ready once the car stopped in the street with poor houses or whatever. I have to unstress it was not very far from the public part, from the normal part of the town where nothing is happening serious. But it's true, it was around 11 o'clock evening, and I was in the taxi which appeared to be false, and it was not real Uber, but they were really good, because once we slow down, she was talking how much she will pay him and how much it is, and she pretends she doesn't know the taxi driver, and she was haggling the price. And then suddenly the door opened, and I saw the guy with the pistol, my friend. Black guy with the pistol entering, and then the doors opened on the other side, and one guy hold me like that. So we start to, and the girl which was sitting next to me jumped immediately next to the driver on the seat. So what happened? I got a good instinct, so I start to fight right away. And we were fighting around 10 minutes. I tried to push my fingers, the toes into the eye of the guy. I tried all the tricks, but the guy was holding me back, and the guy started to beat me with the other side of the pistol in my head. which couple of hits were really hard, but I still try, and I almost made it out of the car. Almost, I was already one leg out, and the guy got no balls to shoot me. But then he started to be aggressive. He hit me more and more, and then he clocked out the pistol and he put it on my face, and he said, "I will kill you, Mata too." And I saw he's really angry and he's possibly going to press the trigger. So I called down, and then the car keep moving. Then the guys try to, tie my legs and my hands and try to put the cuchula, which is a Spanish expression for the hood, on my head. In that situation, the guy started beating me through the hood more and more, and I say, "Hey, stop that shit." But he achieved what he wanted, that he shake me off psychologically and physically, and there was a blood in my head. And imagine this is happening, to you. So fortunately, I was in dangerous situation. I was in one shootage in Philippines when the regime changed with this crazy dictator Rudy Duterte, when later on two thefts tried to enter in my hotel, and I shoot through the door to make them disappear, to discourage them to enter my room. But then I finish in the jail for not having a firearm license, which I had in Philippines, but it was set up by Rudy Duterte, this butcher who stole the money of foreigners and killed 60,000 people. I don't want to go through it, but I got an experience when I'm detained in terrible situations in third world countries. But I would like to not to see or imagine how some tourist, innocent or guy from Western world coming here and has no this experience, how he would behave. And you can see the remainings of the fight. So I have this black eye. It's after 6 days, but I will post the pictures in the previous video how I look like immediately after I get out of the abduction, because I escaped. That was my chance. Otherwise, now I'm in fucking Haiti, waiting for ransom of my government. So I will get there. Okay, so stay patient. We are in the car and we are moving towards the town, and I get this hat on me. I got this, this this hood, or how you call it, this cuchula, and then the guys are tightening up my hands and my legs. Well, I was taught, by my bodyguard Florent de Torrefil, who saved my life many times in Philippines, a lot of techniques. So I knew I when they were trying to tighten my hands, in the dark, because they were not total professionals. Otherwise, everything what they were doing was obvious, and I learned later on they not doing it for free for first time, and they were professionals. So I a little bit have first advantage that I pull up my tongue, and instead of tightening me up, I show you. Instead of tightening me up my wrist like that, like they want, I was able to do it like that they tied me up, and the string was going through my through this way, so I was able to loosen up, and create some space. Then they tied up my hands, but it was in this way down, I show you like that. I hope so it's clear. And then they tied up my legs. In that moment, I knew I cannot do nothing, and the chance to escape from the running car with tighten up hands, even though I have chance, and I start to immediately work, I start to move. We remember this, when you tighten up, it's like real in the films, you start to discreetly, or so they don't see you, you start to work, if you are in obscure dark place, start to loosen up the tights. And they didn't know good, some naval knots or navy knots. They did just normal knots, and they used the shoelace, and then the harder rope, the thicker rope. But it was done in car. They were not professional. They were not so good with tightening, and we were moving. So I start to work out in obscure, move up, because I have this advantage. That was the first thing. Second thing, I start to count in my head, because I knew the Luigi, the restaurant, or whatever is the name of it, is like northeast. I'm northeast from the town, and we moving around 50, 70, 80 kilometers meter square. So I calculated and I start to count, and later on I figure out, I was counting, I don't remember, it was 500 or something. I calculated we are 25 kilometers northeast from the town. So that's the other thing you can find out. You can figure out approximately your location where you're going. You can orient it north south if you remember where you are before, or at least you counting and you're trying to lose the tights, if the knots, or your tighten up hands if it's possible. Then try to talk to the people. Like a lot of advices, but I try. If I knew that I cannot fight physically, I start to fight mentally. So I said, listen, I want to give you my rings because I have the rings. I have 2 golden rings. I have a golden bracelet. I have a Rolex watch for $600. I said, hey, I want to give you my money. I want to give you my cards. I give you my jewelry. Just please let me go. I don't want to have conflicts, nothing. So I said, hey, I don't take it personally. Sorry, I was fighting with you. It was a reflex. I had a chance. I had the big advantage. I was speaking Spanish, because if I don't speak Spanish, there is no conversation, because these people, these animals, don't speak any language, except of Spanish or a little bit Creole, which is the language of Haitian people, which make me really scared. If you're asking me, of course, I have a fear, but I was scared, but the adrenaline was working, and I was still thinking. Everything like in the movies is true. What's happening with your body? I was in my head, there was this thought, like, is it really happening? Is it film? Or I was like, I wish I wake up and it's a nightmare, and my brain couldn't accept the reality. That's what's happening when you are in a huge stress, that you cannot accept the reality. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm not a YouTuber, I know I can stop it. Anyway, keep going. So, so we were driving. I'm psychologically shaken, but I use the stress, try to use the fear, like adrenaline, because your body is programmed a couple of hours or a couple of minutes to fight, And you got a lot of energy, and your body, like nature, is helping you. Some people get in shock or fear. What should I tell you? It's not a good idea. If you can control your emotions, try to fight. Listen to the instinct of survival. So I said, listen, I talk too much. I was telling them, look, I give you money, I give you cards, let's go to bank machine, I give you pins, I got a lot of money on my cards, I tell them in Spanish. And they said, no, we want you. And then the black guy says, we want you, we are from Haiti. I was like, oh my God. He says, I'm from Haiti, I want your ass, we don't want your money. We want your money of your government. In that moment, I was heavily demoralized psychologically, because I know it's not some thefts who wanna get my things and let me go. And the feeling, when you hold up on the street, then you are macked, and let's say they take your bag, or they take your jewelry, or they point weapon at you and say, give me your jewelry and wallet. And it happened fast. It happened to me before. It's not such a traumatic thing like when you are abducted. You see, you are abducted and you are practically kidnapped, and they telling you they from Haiti, and we know, or I knew, there is 500,000 Haitian people illegal, mostly young men addicted on cocaine and drugs. They are illegally here. They cannot go back to Haiti. They have no money to push forward to Mexico or to US, ask for political asylum. They stuck here. They armed, they angry, they desperate, they young, they drug addicted, and they have nothing to lose, and they cannot go back, and they cannot move to some other country. That's the worst combination ever. Drugged, young, armed man who has nothing to lose and has no money and is hungry. That's called desperados. The people who are desperate, who are angry and armed. You see? So I knew I'm really in trouble, because I knew I'm a white guy, whatever. I have this jewelry. They think I got some money. Of course I got, right? So I was really in problem. Okay, a little bit moving forward now. We arrived into the wood, into the dark wood. Imagine, it really doesn't increase my mood or moral when I realized, when I tried to remove always the kuchula, I tell them I cannot breathe, which was true, and they were like, put it down, but they were not always able to, so I a little bit put it up, and I saw we are getting into some, the road is not asphalted anymore, or the quality of the road is bad, but you know what I mean. We are really on dusty road, and there are trees around, Oh my god, and we're getting deep and deep into some muddy road, and the driver start to shout like, please leave me alive, please, I have a kid. Oh. But later on the driver was with them, but he was pretending because that he is not, but I told them, what is this comedy, this is a fucking comedy, you think I believe you? So I was quite aggressive, and then I tried to switch into some appealing tone, like another talk, give me money, but I didn't want to show them that I'm totally intimidated, because once they break you psychologically, it's finished, this thing works, so we have to cooperate with the people, but it's walking on the rope situation. So when I saw we are getting in this muddy road deep and deep in the forest, and the driver was like crying, and in one moment I really didn't know if they kidnapped him as well, if it was real Uber, because before I saw that he's showing something here on the application, and if they take the car, I didn't know, and I got a hit head. So, and the driver was really crying, so which make the situation much worse. But I think it was a trick, and he was part of them, and they tried to scare me psychologically, which they were quite successful. Oh my god. So we are getting into these trees, then we stop, and I was like, what's gonna happen, guys, right? And a lot of things going on in my head, like, hey, they will get me out, they will fucking shoot me in the head, they will beat me with the stone and take my jewelry things, or I was thinking even they tried to search me out, and one of the guys just hit my dick, accidentally, but he was like, I don't know, I was like, he's enjoying it, or he's trying it, or they're faggots, so a lot of things going on in your head, like, you got a fucking hood on your head, you white fucking guy in the woods with the fucking two black guys, and no racial things, right? They're fucking animals, I mean, no, hey, I got a lot of friends, blacks or whatever, I'm not a racist, but you know what? I tell you later on this topic something, I'm not a politically correct motherfucker, you'll see. But I tell you, I was with these third world people, and they are third world, with these fucking animals. Some of them are from Haiti. This is one of the most dangerous town, Port-au-Prince, after even more dangerous than Mogadishu. So my imagination was working, and imagination is one of the worst thing, because most things which you worried about never happens, but some things which I never expected happened to me, and I was kidnapped. So they are getting me out of the car, and then they released my legs so I can walk, but they keep my hand. And you remember, I was trying, within the situation, within the as much as the condition allows me, to try to loosen up my hands. So we stand up, and then they push me, and we were walking down the hill. There was a muddy road, I smelled piss, shits, there was a lot of mud, I was getting deep beneath, the mud was reaching my ankles, then I see the trees, oh my god. I was like, this is really bad. Where we going in the woods or whatever, they don't want to, and I tell them, get my money, let me go, get my jewelry, and nothing, So I was like, oh my god, this is really bad. They don't want my money. This is really kidnapping. Probably there will be another, because I studied kidnapping in Philippines, I security agency, I knew that there will be first safe house, then they move me to the deeper one, and the chance that I don't escape, because the biggest chance you have escape on the beginning from kidnapping, when they give you into the second safe house and they start to negotiate for the ransom and all that things, then it's too late to escape. So I knew if I gotta escape is fucking now or never. So I take my second chance after fighting in the car. I say, hey, don't be covered, Daniel. Forget about this, take and save your fucking life. Do anything, just fight for your life, So I mentally prepared for the attack, and we were walking. I have tightened up hands, and I loosen it up, but not enough to fight, and my legs were free. So, but it was very muddy, the road was like that, it was down the hill, so I knew I cannot kick him in the balls, or I was possibly thinking to a little bit like squat and take soil and throw it in his face. There are a lot of tricks which are not allowed in karate, kung fu, and all that martial arts. This vulgar, not on his tricks, or kicks. So I was thinking what to do. Then we are on this muddy road, and I see the two guys, like somehow I remove the kuchela, and I see the hood. I see that behind me, the guys a little bit get far from me, and only one guy was holding me and was holding the rope of my hands, and that in front of me there are no other people, and the other, which was the driver, the girl disappeared, and later on I figured out the other guy, like two guys, so they were three around me. The two were a little bit behind me, and one was holding me. So I said, let's fucking do it. So I hit him with my elbow in his face. Unfortunately, I was not able to see too much, so I hit him just slightly and not too much, but he a little bit lost his balance, and I start to, move in this way and try to hit him again with this trick, and I was successful. I hit him, but not too strong, and we start to fight. And in one moment, I start to like control him on my side of the rope, and he fall down. And I tried to run, but he hold the rope, and I couldn't run. And then the other came, and the motherfucker started to hit me with the pistol again in my head, and very strongly, so my head was bleeding. So I said, like, okay, stop it. And they start to hit me, kicking me. They were all three around me. They were kicking me with their legs. Until now my lower back is really painful. They were kicking me, hitting me with the. Then the other guy figured out he got a machete, so he hit me with the handler. Then the other guy with the pistol. They were kicking me, three guys. So I said, please, okay, yo, cooperado. They always tell me, suéltate, like, surrender, cooperado. I say, okay, cooperado. I say, tú estás loco, you are crazy. Yeah, so I know that at least they know, at least I'm fighting with these motherfuckers. Some people will tell you, cooperate, talk to them. I did later on. That's why I escaped. But look, once they bring you into the safe house, just do fucking anything, attack them and disappear, because I knew I can run very fast. My legs were free, and who give a fuck about hands? I can run really fast, and they have a hard time to catch me, or maybe I have a serious chance because we are. Anyway, long story short, then they stand me up. I was all dirt and piss, I was dirty from the and we arrived into I saw some little shelter, refugio, they call it in Spanish. Oh my god, it was not even some barrio type D. They have A, B, C, D. It was really shelter without electricity, ghetto shelter, There was glass on the street, there was no windows, there was some wavy roof was made out of wavy, metal, and and there was some provisory bench. They sit me on it. They light up the candle. Oh my god, it was really bad. I was like, I relaxed, a little bit. I sit. I was like, okay, alle acta est. This is it in Latin. Like the crabs are thrown. I'm in the safe house. I'm fucked. Like now. We're really in bad situation, Now I lost the way to disappear, and I a little bit get demoralized again. But I still keep talking. I say, hey, let's do the money thing. And they say, shut the fuck up. Cállate, be quiet. Then they have some little, I don't know, meeting or whatever. I observed that there are 4 or 5 people more, so they were 6 on the end, as I told you, and they start a little bit talk, and one of the guy just tied up again my legs, but didn't realize that I'm a little bit loosened here still, They tried to check it, and they tied up my legs, my hands. You can see still the scar, which is getting healed, but you will see it on another video. So they tied up my hands with my legs, okay, together. But my hands were still loosened up, and I work on it. Then the guy removed the hood, and I saw 5 men and 6 men, and one without a face, without a mask. Other ones, they got a mask face with the t-shirts and piece of clothes, or they provisory, they covered their face with masks, with clothes and stuff like that in different way. And I count 5 people, masked 5 people. I count 2 people, the leader who was not masked, the one who was beating me with the pistol, had a pistol. Other people, one guy got a pistol, he was showing me, and others, they have the machetes. So I count 2 pistols and 6 people, 2 with pistols, and 4 with machetes. So I was like, oh my god, this is serious. And the guy says like, hey, how are you? And he just squat in front of me and says, you are really kind of crazy, right? I say, yeah. I say, hey, let's do the business. And then something happened which morally boosted me up. They start to removing the rings from my fingers. I was like, please. I was really delighted, because it's my life. You see, so in this situation, I start to cooperate. I was fighting for my life. On the other hand, when you want to get money, always give it to them. Listen to me. No fucking money or jewelry or whatever it is not worth of your life. So I give them everything. One of the ring has 20 carats golds, and I'd say, hey, you will make a lot of money with this watch. And they were like, I changed from the loco, from crazy guy, in some kind of a guy who was like doing bromeos as jokes in Spanish. I'm bromista. I was some kind of a joker who was like, he's funny. I said, no, brother, you buy a lot of things for this, and I try to psychologically somehow, to be compatible with them, if I couldn't make it physically, I try to fight spiritually, psychologically, mentally, economically. I told them, listen, I can call my government, I can negotiate best money, you see, but it will be very hard, you have a problem, I told in one moment the guy. You see, and I tried the trick, you can try it sometimes. I said, I go to American embassy every day. You see, they know location of my phone. I send the messages of people where I'm going. I picture the car of yours. I remember the plate number. You are fucked. They are going after you. Think I operate alone? I told the guy, you think I operate alone? I'm an ambassador. I'm a diplomatically tied with USA. They got a SWAT. They got a satellite. You fucked. Tú tienes un problema. I told him. I started to shout at him. He said, tú tienes problema. You have problem. You have problem. He said, you have problem. You see, but it was okay. So I tried everything. Then I realized that the guy is on coke. He's holding weapon. He's a young guy. He has his ego and testosterone. That I will not intimidate him. I will make it worse. So that's why I move into the less attacking position, appealing one. And I said, okay, I understand you. I respect you. And listen, I give you the money, everything, and let me go. And they say, cállate. And they didn't. I said, what will happen now? Will you kidnap me or this? We will take you to Haiti. We will talk to your embassy. Which, I don't know if it was true on the end. You will see, But let me check the battery. Because I'm not a professional YouTuber. Okay, so I will move it forward a little bit. Together, they hold me around 6 hours. Then, they remove my wallet, and then they try to look at the cards, and then they take my phone, they ask me for the code. I give it to them, I cooperate, and they say, look, now you log into your personal banking, applications and show us how much money you got. So I did, but I got a Canadian US account. There was no money. I was living there, but I didn't use it, and in that time it doesn't work. I forget the passwords, so I had a hard time to explain them that only 1 or 2 applications functioning, because I'm not stupid. And I know in third world countries I don't use the application to other accounts where I got money, and I prefer not to install it in moment when I really need it, or so I didn't have all accounts, fortunately, in my application, and I had some empty one. So I showed them, I get in, I showed them, I said, look, I'm poor, I have no money. I said, there's nothing, I'm just from Czech Republic, I'm not American, I'm just like you, I'm a stepfather, I'm just, and then they find 300 cash in pesos, which was not too much, right? It's like $3 or whatever. And so they have the jewelry, so they start to calculate like how much is it. They take even my belt, which was, I need to buy a new one. It was, enjoy it, it was broken. Idiots, Well, poor people. They start to do cocaine. They ask me if I want. I said, no, thank you. And we somehow, and I told them, I was amusing them. I told them I'm divorced and my wife take all money. And one of the guys says, my wife as well. And I find some sympathy with them. Yeah. But the main guy, he came, and I got one of the guy who was guarding me says he's my friend. I said, I'm your friend. He says, he even shake me my hand. He says, my name is Carlo. I'm your friend. I said, great, Carlo. I like you. So, and he says to other people, you see, Daniel is my friend. He's my friend, and other people, go fuck yourself. So the time was running, but I realized it was 5-6 hours, but it was like 3 minutes. And I was talking with Carlo like 2 hours, while the others were in my phone and getting informations and talking about the pins and things, and time to time the main guy, the black guy with pistol who was not masked, came and hit me with the pistol and say and try me, what is the pin here, what is the pin, and I have to repeat it in Spanish so he was sure that I'm not lying to him. And I gave him the real pin. I tell him, hey, don't hit me. He was like, oh. And when I always tell him, hey, don't hit me or I don't give you pins, he stopped hitting me, you see, because there was this testosterone fight. If I get, in one moment I got psychologically a little bit broken, and they put the kuchu on my head again, and they were like, they were saying, ah, you scared, like the diavolo is invisible, like the devil is invisible. And they you know, when they put you in jail, when they put you in the abduction situation with the kidnappers or criminals, remember, these people are like animals, and they smell your fear. So you have to not show them the fear. You gotta hide it, or you gotta not be repellent to that. That's when you get in jail and you're repellent of people, you're disgusting. You have to realize, you have to give them the feeling intelligence. So then I boost up morally and tell them, listen, yo soy un diablo, todo tu familias muertas. Yo soy de parte de Cartel Mexico. See, yo soy de Russo. I told them I'm a Russian and this, and I'm part of the cocaine cartel, and they are really in problems. And they said, oh, our families are dead. I say yes. Fortunately, they find pictures of guns which I have for souvenir, you know, for memory from Philippines. It was expensive Heckler and Koch machine guns for 20,000 euro, 10,000 euro, and they were like, hey, where are these guns? I said, I told you I'm a part of a criminal band, you are really in problems, you know. So I told them, or we can cooperate. So, you know, I was running a lot of, I tried to confuse them. I said I belong to US diplomacy, then I'm tourist, then I'm a staffer, I'm a criminal like them. So I tried every possible, you know, exit psychological from the situation to benefit, you see. So my fight, my weapon was not my guns, but my tone, so, and my psychology, my high emotional intelligence. And Carlo really likes me. We became friends, and he told me in one moment, you know what, I swear to you, once we get the money from you, we let you go. And I said, is your word? And he says yes. And we shake hands, and he says, I give you a word, I'm a loyal man, you're so loyal. I said, okay, I trust you. Well, long story short, but in one moment, one of the guy was talking, they will move me to Haiti, which was confusing, and I think they were considering it. And they were talking on the phone in Creole, which really disturbs me or gives me worries. Again, I was really depressed by this situation that they will move me over the border, because things happening. Later on I find out the whole bus of Dominican people was abducted over the border to Haiti. And you know, Haitians are best at kidnapping, so I think they were really considering it, or they want to intimidate me just to give them real information or not, or they get scared because they saw the guns, or I really don't know, and I cannot tell you. I would say that they were more like an organized criminal band, and they didn't want to really abduct me for ransom, but they were speaking Creole, and they were, no question about it, two of them were Haitians, and these things really happening here. So I was really scared. I was really scared that, if you're asking me, I was scared of a lot of things, but I was scared that I will be 6 months somewhere. I imagine my mother, they calling her from embassy, she's selling her house, she's trying to pay some ransom, and 6 months in some shithole. And this really motivated me to fight psychologically. I tell them, listen, I lied to you, I'm not a poor, which was another lie. I tell them, you know what, I'm really rich. I have millions and millions of dollars on this account, American, and I don't have it installed here in cases like that. And they really, because maybe they want to believe it, or they were dragged or desperate, or I'm a good actor, they really believe it. And then I psychologically divide imperum, right? And then they really were greedy, and they want to run with the real pins, which they verified it's real, like I was repeating always. So they bought a story, you know, I give them the real pins, but there was no money there, right? Or the cards were blocked and not functioning, but they saw some money, some souvenirs of money, which I have a lot of money in Philippines before, which I was picturing because there were a lot of transactions in cash. Oh my God. So I made the story works, you know, and then they were really start to be greedy. and that was their weakness, and they wanted to all go to withdraw the money, because I said, Carlo, you see, I'm your friend, I don't like these guys, but I like you, divide imperum. They always say one guy you like him, other one not, because the one who you said you don't like him, he will be jealous, and the other one, the ego and the greed, there are a lot of sins, there are a lot of psychological leverage. Psychology rules the world. So I said to Carlo, look, I like you, but they want to go and steal your money. You see, you should go with them. You should send your other friend to go. So originally, only one or two guys wanted to go to withdraw the money. But somehow I make them by the greed. I made them leave, I made them go. I contributed to this, that 4 of them left and only 2 stayed to guard me. And it was my plan. I said, oh my God, first I was fighting in car, second time on the path to the safe house. This is my third last chance. I realize I'm 5 hours there. I'm starting to be, tired. They offered me, Carlo offered me water, and I really remember what he's doing. He put up the cuchula, the hood. First time I didn't want to drink too much because I was afraid that the water is drugged, and because they were talking about before that they will give me heroin and put me somewhere else to hide it. They were telling me, I forgot to tell you this. That's why I really bought the story that they will kidnap me, and I don't know if it was true, but everything was possible. But then I took a risk. I was really thirsty, so I said to Carlo second time, like, please, can you give me the water? And I observed that he removed the hood, and in that time he need to remove the hood by one hand and then hold me somehow the water and my head, because I had tightened up the arms, and you remember my hands, I always work on loosening it during the couple of hours. I was multifunctioning. And then I saw that in that moment he put the machete somewhere on the floor, or it was not in his hands, and he has no pistol, and he has nothing in his hands, and he needs both his hands to feed me with the water. Then, around in middle of the situation, I start to pretend, that's why I forgot to tell you, except if I was loosening up the hands and talking to them psychologically, I start to pretend I have a problem with heart. First I said it's anxiety, and then I said, I was really good simulating. My heart is like a bell, right? But I was saying, I have problem with heart. And Carlo in one moment brought me some pill, and I threw it up, later, and I said, it doesn't work, I will die, I need strong medication, you necessity medication. And they bought it. They really bought it. So, there was the other thing. They saw that I was loco before, and I tell them, you know why I was crazy? Because I need my medication. Tomorrow I will die. You will not have a ransom. It was, first of all, my story that they should let me go, because if I die, they don't get the money, because I'm a goods. I'm a really good, valuable thing for them. But if I'm dead, I have no point. So they have to let me go, because if I die, or they have to give me the medication, or I'm not able to work. But, I tried everything. What should I tell you? Everything. And then, when they left, the 4 of them, and Carlo and another guy who was playing with my phone and watching and going through it, finding information, and had a machete, and he was a little bit like 5-10 meters in the other part of the house, this kind of improvised shelter. So then I realized, then I achieved that they are 2. They think I have problem with heart. I'm weak. I'm resigned, I'm sultas, I really surrender, I have problem with heart, I'm cooperating, this. So I got a moment of surprise. And I knew I have around 40 minutes, because it's 20 minutes to town, 20 back, possibly 20 when they call them that the cards are blocked and it's not working in streak to hit me or whatever. So I said, now or never. So they were like 5-10 minutes away, and I was preparing psychologically for my last escape, you see. Well, what should I tell you? I knew it's my last hit, because I was losing energy. It was around 5-6 hours. I didn't eat the water. I get just a little bit, but your psychological, biological processes, don't you forget, it was in the morning, and I didn't sleep before 20 hours, so, I was not in good situation. I knew now or never, or I'm just finished, So I was start to do like the most simulation. Like I was like, oh, I'm really dying. Please, please, Carlo. Then Carlo came. He opened up. He just lifted up the cuchilla, the front part. I saw that he has in his hands this water, this plastic bag of the water, some primitive dirty or whatever. I don't know what was this kind of water or drink. And then I attack him. Yes, you hear right. I attack him and I try to put my thumbs in his fucking eyes, which is the softest part of the body. But I loosen up quite a lot. My hands, my legs were like not totally tied up. I was as well a little bit working, but I was able to make some kind of baby steps. But I was in sitting position, so I was not able, even though I loosened up quite a lot already, like to length of 20 centimeters my hands, which he was surprised by this. I was not able to capture his head so as I should, or I was not able, to hold his head, or somehow to attack him as it is the trick, because you gotta hold him like if he's not on. It's good done when the person is on the floor and his head is on floor, and you doing like that, and against the head against the wall when he's standing, or against the floor, it's like set, so you have a good position to push really deep the thumb. So I try to hold him with one hand, and try to do only with one, with one thumb. But he a little bit moved, and I have not too much space to maneuver with my hands. So on the end, it was the middle finger. I like to think about this like I did it on purpose, but I didn't know. It was the middle finger, which I pushed so deep, because we somehow fight, and I was able to put it in his eye when he was like trying to, and I pushed it around 4-5 centimeters, my friends, in his eye. I little bit crack my finger because I feel it from the inside, like I hit his skull, and he shouted in like, whoa! Really, it was a terrible pain. I think his brain doesn't work like used to work, So, but I told them I'm from East Europe. I told them they have problems. Carlo was my friend. It was a trampa in Spanish, a trap. They trapped me, I trapped them back. I trapped Carlo. He trapped me, I trapped him. You see, there is no way how you can negotiate. They fucking attack me. I have no fucking mercy for these motherfuckers. When they go after you, you kill them. You do anything to kill them, you see? I was ready to, to bite their fucking, neck or whatever. But I was able to pacify, or to knock down Carlo. So he was in shock, and he held his arm, he held his eye, and he somehow disappeared out of my angle. I knew that he's finished. He's not able for a couple of minutes to put himself together or find the machete, that he was just lying somewhere next to me. Actually I removed the cuchilla, and I saw him somewhere, like he's lying, and he's holding by both hands his face, and he's like, oh my god, and he's really terribly crying and shouting or whatever, making the sound. In that moment, I saw next to him the machete. I take it right away. I release my legs, I cut off it was really sharp, and I cut off the ropes on my legs. Then I hold the machete, and I was moving where I remember where was the exit, left Carlo behind. And when I was moving next to the light, the candle, I saw my wallet and mobile phone. I was like, the fuck? Right away, I just take it, put it in my, I put down the machete, I take it in my, the phone and my wallet, only the cards were missing and the cash, and my wallet and my phone in my pocket. So I was like, hey, good. I take the machete again, and I was heading towards where I remember was exit. When I was 1 meter from the exit, the rope opened up, and I saw the other guy getting in. I was really lucky he went to pee or something, I don't know. It was really good luck that he was not next to Carlo and he was not start to hitting me. So when he opened up, I hit him with the machete, my friends. I have my hands were still tied up, so I hold it with two hands, but it doesn't matter. I just hit him, and I saw him like it hit him in the face, and he just fall down on his back. I get out, but I didn't actually hit him too much. It was because I was like 1 meter from him, so the peak or the end of the machete hit him. So he tried to stand up, and he has really like a scarf, bloody one, but obviously it didn't knock him down. So he tried to stand up, and in that moment I kick him in the face, and then I start to stepping on him, kick him in the face. But then I heard some noise, some other people, whatever. So I turn around and I start to run, and I decided to drop down the machete because it stopped me from total run, and I was not able. It was like 10-15 centimeters to cut myself with the hands. I wanted to do it, but my priority was to get out of the fucking place, and release my legs. And I knew that I can run with the loosen up legs, and it's not my priority now. I knocked down the two people. I have no time for it. I hear some people. I knew that the machete is stopping me from running, so I drop it somehow. I run. I realized I'm around some shelters. It was like a horror scene. There were like 20 dogs running around me, piss smell, glass on the floor, some piece of, bricks. There was 5-6 little shelters in deep of the forest for some fucking junkies and human trash and garbage, and I didn't have too much time to run around. I heard some voices, people around, behind me. It was really dark, so I don't know what the fuck is going on. I hear the dogs, whatever. I ran, there were 2 houses, and right away I ran into the woods. I was running, the adrenaline I was running for my life, my friend. I fall down, there was some hill, I hit myself, that, I was dirty, oh my god, the blood on my t-shirt, everything. I was, the smell of the piss or whatever, the mat, so, it was terrible, it was dirty job. And then I stand up again, I didn't have nothing, I was really, later it really healed up, but I have scratches on the face, on the legs, my hands bleeding, everything. I was running like 5-10 minutes. I was looking behind me, and I saw that there's nobody there, but I still keep running, and it was really good feeling. The feeling, now I will hold up a little bit, I stop, I don't make it too long the video, but approximately 1 hour. I can see we are 51st minute, but let me share with you the feeling when I get free, when I get free on the my battery is going. When I get free when I was free, I was in fresh air, and I was not, my liberty was not, I was not, detained anymore, by some people who were not just getting who were not stealing my personal freedom, and I was running. It was great feeling for the liberty, for the freedom. I was running like an animal, like people who get out of the slavery, get out of the, it was really run for life, and I feel such a joy of life. The adrenaline make everything, my eyes, like we are animals, we are ready for fight. So I got a good sight even in the dark. Then after 5-10 minutes I get adjusted to the dark. I was able to see between trees. I was running. Fortunately it was almost full moon, and there were some stars. It was clear, there was no, the rain was not there, and I was running. Then I make it long story short, I just get oriented in some meadow. I was coming back like this 30 degrees angle back where was the village, or the settlement of the gangsters or the kidnappers. But on the other hand, I don't want to meet them, but I knew that if I go approximately this direction, like 30 degrees angle, a little bit on the left, I will get to the town. Or it was on the, as I said, I get on suburbia of Santo Domingo. There were already, long story short, I was walking like 1 hour, 1.5 hours. There was finally some street civilization, if you want, cars driving, not too much on the road. There were buildings, there was a regular street, and I start to timbre, which is in Spanish, ring the bells of the houses. Nobody opened me. Like 20 houses. I was walking, nobody. 10, 15 cars didn't stop. People scared, everything. I don't blame them. They scared, they didn't open the ring. And finally, totally similar, or same car, I think different color, or even the color was similar, gray. The car which abducted me, Honda Fit 2015, stop. Like a taxi, Uber taxi, slow down. I was like, oh my god, it's the same car. They are these guys, and there was one guy different, and he was not the one who kidnapped me. And I was like, hey, are you real? I was like, what happened to you? Are you for real? Are you a real driver or kidnapper? He says, no, what happened to you? Do you want to help? I say, yeah, I'm a tourist. I got kidnapped. I abducted. Can you help me? I pay you later on. Please help me. And he says, he was a good person. He helped me. He helped me. I really am grateful to this guy. I forgot his name or whatever. He drive me like 1 hour or whatever, 40 minutes. So we were not so far to the, to Gascoigne, to address where I have my Airbnb. I woken up the owner. He was living in over the street next to the house in other house. He was really like shocked. The woman, she was female, and her husband, they were really shocked. I tell them, hey, give the guy money. How much is it? They were like, they even didn't want to give him money, or they didn't give a fuck about me. See, they don't give a fuck about me. And I told them, hey, call police. And I got abducted. I still have these shoelaces, the rope I was able to remove, but the shoelaces were still holding up my hands, with distance of 20, 30 minutes. Centimeters from each other. So I was, I got a blood on my t-shirt. I have no belt. It was falling down my trousers. I have my t-shirt, Armani shirt, and t-shirt and shirt, and I have no my Rolex Armani or other things. I look terrible, right? Of course. And and I got a cut off. You can see it got healed in 7 or 8 days. I'm here in this hotel. I got a cut off. I will show you, or you can see it on the my lips was cut off. I got a really black eye. I got a blood going out of my hands. My hair, my hands were cut. I really look bad. And these people they were like, go to your ubication, and then take a rest, and tomorrow we call police. I say, I want to call police now. No, my mother is sick, please. She will be crazy about it. Please go to your ubication. No. They paid the taxi carrier left. And I told them, look, I got just robbed. I got abducted. I don't have the key. They take everything from me. I got my wallet and there is no money. And my mobile phone, because I take it away, I get escaped. I told them, and these people were like, oh, what happened with the key? You think we have a problem? Like, totally selfish cunts, these people, you cannot say it in a different way. Then they gave me spare key. My husband opened up the door. He says, take a shower and let's go to police tomorrow, please, not now, take a rest. They even didn't offer me bandage, plasters, something, I call it, the oxygen. Fortunately I have it, agua oxigena para limpio, for cleaning my face, and the wounds, so not very nice. I went sleep, I take a sleeping pill, I shower, I clean my face. I was really happy I'm alive. I was able to fall asleep with some little Valium pill, because I was like shaken psychologically. But to be honest, I have to say I have no traumatic, issues, or 90% of people have a traumatic stress disorder, which develops when they point a weapon in my face. They pointed many times, but I was okay. So God bless, I'm okay. And I went sleep the other day, and that's why I want to talk about this. The video is a little bit longer, but forgive me. Then here comes the second part. What happens when I arrived, abducted? After the abduction, the other day, the owner, his conscious a little bit moved, so he started to think, and she brought me to the police, right, and tried to helping me, because the thefts blocked my phone, changed the codes, so I couldn't get in and stuff like that, and I had no money. Fortunately, one of the card which I had the money in, they destroyed the banking and they blocked my access to my phone. But I was able to withdraw money from bank machine. It was really miracle, right? I have my phone. They didn't get into the other cards because the accounts. So I didn't lose any money shortly set from accounts. Just the 300 cash, 3 rings and watch and bracelet and my choreo, my belt. I don't give a fuck. It's like 1,500, 2,000 worth of jewelry. I don't give a fuck. I buy tomorrow. My life. And then we went to police, and I'm thinking if I should make a separate video, and I will probably do what happened in second part when I went to police, to the police, of the to the state police, to commissary of state police in Santo Domingo, to inform them about the organized band who abducted me. So I will make a second video about this, because this is something you should really know, and I will warn in the beginning and on the beginning of the new video and on the end of this video, don't go to Dominican Republic, because police will not help you. Don't go here, guys. It's a dangerous country full of criminals. I went to police and they saw me. I just tell you a little teaser, and they say, you've been kidnapped by this organized group, the fake lady on Tinder, right? And I said, how you know? No, we just look at you. There are 5 victims since the beginning of the year. And it was February 15 when I entered. In 6 weeks, I was 5th victim, the police told me. You see, in 6 weeks, I was 5th victim. And later on, when I was telling the people, the policemen, the very valuable details about these criminals, the police absolutely didn't give a fuck. I have to say it in this way, and I told them, for example, I know the brand of the car, but my phone is blocked, and if I, get access to internet on the police station, I will Google out and double check the precise brand of the car. But the policeman who was writing the report obviously was really rushing, and the lady who brought me there was like, I have another client in Airbnb, por favor, and the guy was as well trying to make it very fast, and he told me, it's not important, it's not important, I will write down, es uno poquito coche pequeño y blanco, like the car is small and white, that's it. I said, sir, I had the security agents, look, I don't want to tell you, I was very polite, respectful, because I heard the police is part of mafia here, so, I didn't want to get in some, I was thinking, actually, if I should go to police the day before and later, but, then I went, I said, hey, let's do something about this, but I heard the stories that the police is connected to mafia, and I'm sure about this is corrupted, so I was thinking maybe they kidnapped me again or something. I was really hesitating, and anyway, I went there. The guy didn't want to know the exact brand of the car. No. Then I told him that there is a camera in front of Cafe Granier on the Canabo Street, and that if he go there on camera, he will see the car and me talking to them, and he even didn't put it in the report that there was camera. It was terrible. Secondly, I told him I know where is the place where they jump on me. It's 500 meters. He put it in the in the report. But I told him, if we go in the car, I show you 500 meters from Louis restaurant where it happened. Louis, that's the restaurant. I think I said it right. Where the kidnapping happened. And he was like, no, it's not important. I will just write it down, but we will not go there. I said, are you sure? So I told him, you can find the people on the cameras. Secondly, I told them the plate, I can tell you the exact number, the exact brand of the car. They didn't care. Then I told them, I know face of one of the guy. If you have a painter, police painter, we can try to put together his visage, his face, and how he look alike. No, they didn't give a shit. No, it's too late. Tomorrow were municipal elections. No, I'm working 24 hours. I have no time for this. So I was giving them valuable leads. I was telling them, hey, you just told me I'm 5th victim. You don't wanna. And then I realized I was tired and everything, and I realized there is no really will to do something. So I stop, helping them or insisting to give them. I just make them to finish the report so I can leave. I take the paper and we left, and funny thing was that this one woman commissioner, who was the chief of the department, came and read over the arm of the guy who was like writing it down, and she was like, it's really bad, organized banda organizada, and I said, and then she started to talk with the owner of the Airbnb about how to buy clothes and how to properly laundry it and wash it. So I was catching, my Spanish is not like super good, but I figured out they talking about gossips, about nonsenses. She was not interested about nothing. And then she told me, you see, probably we will not catch them. No, I was like, is this really? I knew that this is the third word, but I was like, I wanted to say the guy who was writing it, or to the lady, like, why you just don't save the trees, save the paper, why you doing it? We know that. Then we got in the car and I asked the owner, you think they will investigate it? No, they will not. So what should I tell you? I mean, if the Dominican Republic doesn't give a fuck about their own citizens, about their safety, I say it in an ugly way, I don't give a shit. But if they don't give a fuck, excuse me, but I have to say it like that, if they are not interested in protecting foreigners here, tourists, investors, businessmen, people who coming here, what the fuck? We should come here, to live here, to invest, to spend our money like tourists. You see, this is spit in your face, yeah? And there is a band, organized band of 6 people. 2 are, armed with the pistols, and on the rest with the machetes. They're very dangerous. They have a fake taxi and they operating in Santo Domingo. But the police don't give a absolutely fuck. Nobody's give a shit about this in Santo Domingo, So the mayor, there was a municipal election. I don't know, I forgot the name of the mayor, I googled it out, it's some lady, some friend from the fucking president. Hey, let me tell you something, lady, I wanna do this video like not arrogantly and professionally, but if I am a citizen of the Santo Domingo, I would not vote for you. I don't know who is the interior minister here in Dominican Republic, or the minister who has in charge, who is in charge of police and army here, but I would say shame on you, Mr. Senor. So this is really bad. And then I was said to some friends here, or some people who I befriended, contact one journalist. I text him on internet, on Instagram, and he never replied to me. And then I said to myself, why I should make it public with the local newspapers, and will it hit me back? Will somehow it will be reverse against me, or I will have some problem with it. So I decided, you know what? This country has a politicians and police and security as they deserve, because they don't give a fuck about nothing. Most of people, when I tell them here in this hotel where is a security, they were laughing like when they found out that I was kidnapped. So the people are very mean here. Dominican people are very mean people. The men are drunkards, they hitting their wives. That's what I learned here. The Dominican people are very mean and cynical people. They are, I would say, animals or not people. And there are some good people like everywhere. But I tell you, it's country with really one of the most stupid, arrogant, and mean and not good people. You see? And I warn all international tourists, travelers, businessmen, don't go to Santo Domingo, don't go to whole Dominican Republic. I'm not going to Punta Cana to give them my money. I don't go. I hear I'm not gonna pay for some security taxi to transport me there, and I'm not gonna do these things. I don't know why I should be here. I'm waiting here for FedEx with my other cards, because the FedEx, these people even slow down FedEx from 2 days to 10 days. That's why I'm here. But I'm counting fucking days to get the fuck out of here, and I'll never come fucking back to this shithole. Let me tell you something. And encourage you not to go to Dominican Republic because it's a very dangerous place. It's I've been traveling around the world and never happened to me something like that. Even in Philippines, where President Duterte killed 60,000 people, and he was really crazy. So I get into shootage there, but that's what's happening here. As I understood it, the police and everybody is swiping it under the carpet from some reason. I don't know why, but they very stupid because then I went to the internet and I find out some time to time some newspapers that there is a search. I don't know, but it's my second language, English, as you can see. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I'm a little bit tired. And there is a search of kidnapping, or there is the outburst of kidnapping. They were kidnapped the Dominican people by Dominicans. They were kidnapped Dominican people by Haitians. They were kidnapped tourists by Haitian tourists by Dominican people. And I can imagine that people like me, there are more cases like that. And some of the journalists, they were, you can find it on the internet, that one guy was tortured 12 hours and then he died, unfortunately. And I want to tell you on the end one really shocking thing which won't surprise you, that later on I went on Tinder, my account was blocked. I create different account with different face, and I find this girl again. See. And you know, I give her a bite, I give her my number, but then she figure out something is off and I'm not real or something, and then she stopped communicating with me. But the process was same, like, hey, let's call, because I don't want to call her and she figure out something is wrong, because I cannot hide my face. I put a fake picture on my WhatsApp and fake picture on the Tinder, so she figure out something is wrong. But I find this person again, you know, and they doing it there on cocaine. So this organized bind is here. If you in Dominican Republic, you wanna go on Tinder, you wanna do sexual tourism here. Hey, I don't blame you. Like, I didn't came here to do sexual tourism. Now, if you came here and wanna date this beautiful woman, don't do it, please. Don't do it. You know, most of them are thefts, ladrones. That means, you know, theft. And look, on the beginning I was thinking, this is poor country, it's my fault I came here, it's my fault I get into the taxi which is not verified. I am a person who is self-critical, and yes, it's my fault. I came to the server country and I didn't get in taxi which was on the application, and I made mistake and I got lured by this woman, beautiful, you know. But I don't think so I deserve for this to be abducted or treated by police like, you know, I didn't take it personally. They treat everybody. The police is useless here. But I'm telling you, if you man and you wanna go here to enjoy in Dominican Republic, don't go here. Don't go here. You hear me? If you woman and you wanna come here, don't go here. It's not dangerous for a woman. It's not safe for a woman to come here to Dominican Republic alone. If you go here with your parent, with your partner, come here, okay? And I would say don't go here. Even though you don't go on Tinder, these things, this holding up, this kidnapping, this abduction, there were people hit on the street, you know, shoot on the street, you know, there are snatchers driving on the motorbikes, holding up. I saw a lady, they hold her snatcher on the bike, just catch her back and in daylight and run away, you know, on the bike. I'm telling you, it didn't happen to me because I was dating some chicks on Tinder. Of course it happened to me, but I'm telling you, whatever you're gonna do here like a tourist, you will be in danger, Dominican Republic. I'm a very skillful traveler. Look at my videos. I was in Beirut, I was in Lebanon in demonstration, I was here, there, you know, I was in Mogadishu, I was there, here, you know, and I'm telling you, I would put it 7, 8 out of 10 dangerous places, Santo Domingo and I'm not interested to go to Punta Cana and listen some bullshit how safe it is and our resorts, because these people are everywhere, you know, and once these things happening, you know, the country is shit, you know. And in addition, I learned, I'm a European from European Union, I learned in 2025 or even early, there should be visa free for Dominican people to Europe. You know, what should I tell you? I don't think so is the right decision, but you know, I'm not a politician and I'm not Trumpist or extreme rightist. You know, I'm from Europe and everybody is welcome. But I would really, think twice if you let Dominican criminals to fly to Europe for touristic visa and they do things, they stay there or whatever. This is not a civilized country, you see. And I will close it down with this, that these people got what they deserve. Because they cynical, they laughing, oh, the owner was laughing, like, oh, they kidnapped tourists, it's really bad. And she tried to diminish it. She says, my friend was in Madrid, same things happened, the pickpocketer stole her phone. I said, madam, I was abducted by 6 people with machetes and pistols. It's not like some fucking pickpocketer in Madrid or Malaga or Barcelona take your wallet. Come on, you can. It's not even different sport, it's different league. It's even not different sport. Like from Pulp Fiction, the metaphor. Forget about it. These people, they liars, they cockroaches. Services are bad. Look at them. They look at you like, oh, you gringo, you idiot, you give us your money. They're very arrogant, these people here in hotels, restaurants, and they very mean people. So this is really bad country, Dominican Republic. And I was thinking if to make this video, I don't know how many people will see it or whatever, but I have a moral responsibility, to warn my fellow travelers, yeah. So guys, stay safe. Now I'm probably going to Jamaica. I don't know if it's a good idea because I heard there were 2 people abducted, Americans. Everywhere are these things, but other thing is how the police react, And obviously after the COVID, the world is not what it used to be. There is a surge of criminality all around the world, So it's not only Dominican Republic, but as I said, I visited all countries in Europe, in Asia, was in North America. Now I want to visit most of the countries in South America. Of course, I will not go to Venezuela, and I wanted to. I was even crazy enough to go to Haiti, but I realized that it's total nonsense, because if I knew what's happening here, I would never go to Dominican Republic. Never, ever. And it's not worth of it. There is a polvo, there is a dust, and the services are shit, really. So I believe there are much better countries. I actually considering now going to Martinique, Guadeloupe, or Aruba, or Curacao in European Union department, where I heard I make a research that is very safe. So I encourage you more to go to safe, more maybe expensive parts like St. Lucia or Cates Nevis or the Barbados, which belongs to United Kingdom, or as I said, to Aruba or Martinique or Guadeloupe or Curacao, which belongs to France and to Holland. And I want to see the Jamaica. I'm a risk taker, but I will really, really take a precautions, And stay safe, guys. And Dominican Republic is the poorest, except of Cuba and Haiti, poorest country, the biggest one in all 14 independent Caribbean states, but 3rd most poor after, number 1 poor after Haiti and Cuba. So 3rd most poorest, the poorest, 3rd poorest country in the whole Caribbean, the biggest one. But for me, I give it 7 to 8 out of 10. 10 is total danger, 0 is like no danger. And it's quite a lot, because in daylight, in nightlight, there are people who can hit you with the weapons, with the stones, with the machetes, they can abduct you. They very aggressive, and I don't want to say like it's problem because of Haitian people. Most of the people part of the guns were Dominicans, and I think the Haitians were living here some time, like 10 15 years, and they want to just intimidate me, and basically it was a Dominican group. So there is a search of as well, like outbreak of nationalism, that they blame these Haitian people, and they hate them rightfully because the criminality rise up here and they are disgusting people. But I don't think so. Dominican people are better, they think they are the best and everybody is garbage in the world. But as the saying goes, when you blame somebody for something, first wipe your space in front of your own door, and clean your shits in your own house, and we would find out that if there are some things to clean in Dominican Republic, there are a lot of things to clean and make it correct, but there is no will to do it. You see, Nobody's give a fuck. That's what I learned here. So that's how I would close this. That's how I'm closing this video, guys. But I still believe there are good people in the world, and I hope so. I meet some, and I met some good people here, but not so many, not so many. But I'm grateful to them, like the taxi driver, you know. But not so many, and I travel around the world. So stay safe, guys, and if you like, watch my video, give me a like or whatever, subscribe. Ciao, Daniel.